Hey there, Michelle Hart, Diet and Detox Specialist, and in this video I'm going to share with you 7 ways for you to get healthier and happier this year. Hey, we're at a new decade. It's 2020, and I really want to show you how we can win these next 30 days to really get your health and happiness to the levels that you're looking for. So I'm going to ask you a question. Are you still struggling with starting this health and fitness plan that maybe you started at the beginning of the year and you fell off? And you feel guilty about that. So you went back on and you were motivated again, but really didn't take long for you to fall off again. So that must be frustrating. Does that sound like you? Or maybe you're somebody who's super confused about all those different diets out there: paleo, keto, carnivore, vegan, vegetarian, and then all the fitness plans. Like, do I do HIIT? Do I do strength training? Do I do yoga? Like, how do you know what to do? Maybe you're confused about what to do and you're starting and it's not really working. Does that sound like you? Or maybe you're just like so tired and you're so overwhelmed that you know you need to get healthy and you're not happy, but you don't even know where to start. Well, I'm really glad you're here today because I'm going to show you 7 ways for us to win it this year. And this is about kickstarting your next 30 days for you guys to get healthier and happier. So I do want to point out that not enough people are talking about health and happiness together, because really they do go hand in hand. Don't you feel that when you're healthier, you're happier? And when you're happier, you're actually healthier. Physiology follows psychology. They work hand in hand. And so we can't discount that. So I'm going to kind of tie these two in together during my talk with you on these 7 ways that I'm going to show you to get healthier and happier. So I do want to start by having you take a step back and really think about where you want to be in the next 3 years. Because that's where we need to always be thinking about is, where do you want to be? So where do you want your health to be in the next 3 years? Where do you want your life to be in the next 3 years? Like, are you moving towards your dream life? Because if you not, then where the happiness, you're not really able to tap into the happiness that you can. So I want you to really get a pen and paper and write down, where do you want to be in 3 years? So when it comes to health, to be healthy, we need good energy. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I do want you to think about, where do you sit? 1 is, I have no energy, I feel like dead. And 10 is like, woo woo, I have energy, I wake up with energy, I got energy throughout the day. But where do you sit? If you're a 6 or lower, that's something that you're going to want to bring up. Because really, to get that dream life and to get that health that you're looking for in those next 3 years, you got to get that energy up. Now let's talk about your sleep. So where do you sit on a scale of 1 to 10? So 1 is you wake up, well, actually you haven't slept all night. And you're just fried all the time. You have brain fog, you can't even think, you're overwhelmed. And 10 is, oh yeah, no, when I hit the pillow, Michelle, like I am sleeping, I get to sleep straight away and I wake up and I'm refreshed and I can't wait to start my day. So that's a 10. So where do you sit? If it's below 6, that's really something you're gonna wanna bring up. Why? Because over time, it's gonna have such a wearing effect that you're not gonna wanna realize this dream that you've been thinking, that you've been writing down here on this video. It's hard to get there if you're not sleeping because you can't think properly and you have no energy. Now let's talk about your relationships, because really we're social beings. We need good relationships. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you sit? So 1 would be, you have no friends, you're totally away from your family and you're depressed and you just don't want to leave your room. And then 10 is, oh no, I've got a great set of friends, my family members, we're all tight, we can communicate really well with respect, and we're really tight and it's working out really well. So you're feeling really fulfilled. So that's a 10. So where do you sit with your relationships? If you're under 6, again, that's something that you want to bring up. Why? Because we're social beings. For us to be healthy and happy, we need to have really good, healthy relationships. And so that's something for you to look at. The last one is your job. Because really we spend most of our time with our job. And that could be, if you're an at-home mom, that is like your job. So where do you sit on a scale of 1 to 10? So 1 being you just really don't like it. And every day you just regret going to it or doing it. And 10 is, oh my gosh, you don't even have to really pay me for my job. I love it that much. It's so fulfilling. So where do you sit on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being you don't like it, 10 is like woo woo. So that's something to look at. If you're under 6, you're going to want to kind of pay attention to that and either start something new on the side or work that out where you're changing what you're doing to find more fun in it. So I hope that's really been helpful so far. Where I'm going to be speaking about, so today I'm going to be speaking about these 7 ways for you to get healthy and happier. And the information I'm going to share with you may seem like common sense, but it's not common practice, which is why you're still struggling. And so maybe you're at a time now where you can implement, this information I'm going to share does work, but you're actually ready to hear it now. So I want to start by congratulating you and celebrating that you're actually watching this video, because I know you want to get healthier and happier and you're in this to win it. And I'm really, really want to be your guide to show you these next 30 days how you can do that. Okay, so I'm going to start with the first way that I suggest that you get healthy and happier. So the first way is you've got to know what you want. And so that is really thinking about how healthy and what does it look like to you? And what does happiness look like to you? And when you kind of write this down, you can journal this. I want you to actually feel it. I want you to see it. And I want you to feel it. And I want you to believe that it's happening now. Because really, research has shown that if we really believe and see and feel that, you are that now. And you will move towards that. But you've got to really believe it. So that's the first thing, is have faith. Have the belief that you can do it. That's the first way. So the second way that I'm going to recommend how to get your health and happiness where you want it, is we need to eat well. We need to eat the right diet. So you may be thinking about, well, Michelle, like, what is the right diet? Well, what I can tell you is no matter what diet you're following, you've got to eat enough protein. And not enough people are doing that. Why I'm suggesting that is because when we eat too many of the carbohydrates, which are too many plants, or too much bread or sugar or beans, processed foods, our bodies aren't getting the nutrition it needs, and you'll always feel like you're hungry all the time because the body is saying, wait a minute, I've had enough of this, I need more of something else. And so when my clients come to see me, I look at their food diary, and it's so much of it is carbs, which are the plants, which have their value, but where's the protein? See, when you have protein, enough protein tells your brain that you're happy, you're satiated, things are good, and then you can get on with your day and be productive, happy and healthy. So, but if you're not getting enough protein, you're always thinking about food all the time, or you're brain fogged, and you may even be gas and bloated because you're not even breaking down those plants, which have these mechanisms built within them called cellulose and phytic acid and trypsin and all these gut irritants that may be causing the gas and bloating. So that's not really going to get you healthy and happy. So what I'm going to suggest on the second way to get healthy and happy is to think about getting protein every time you eat. That's a simple way. The third way to get healthy and happy for this decade is to make sure that you're detoxing and you're cleaning out. Because here in this modern world, we're bombarded with so many different toxins, and they're actually shutting down our body's function. So even though you may be eating well, it may not be going in because the body is slowly shutting down because it's so full of sludge. Toxins come from the air, they come from our foods, they come from medications, they come from skincare that you put on your skin that is not compatible to your biology, and because they're chemicals, and everything has to be filtered through your main detoxifying system, which is liver, kidney, and gut. So I'm going to suggest that you employ some type of a good detoxification plan into your daily regime to just assist the body in clearing out the toxins that are stopping your body from being healthy. So for liver, I would suggest eating bitter foods. That's a simple way to help the liver be a better liver and clear the toxins out of the body. And so bitter foods would be something like arugula or dark leafy greens. So I would definitely incorporate that. And then for your kidneys, you've got to drink enough water. So my suggestion is to have 1 liter of water first thing in the morning before you eat. And then the suggested amount is 1 liter for every 50 pounds of body weight. So if you're 150 pounds, you want to drink 3 liters throughout the day. That's going to help your kidneys. And now for your gut, you're going to want to think about eating some fermented foods. Just start with a small amount if you're not used to that. But what it's going to do is it's going to allow your digestive system to increase the amount of good bacteria, healthy bacteria, to keep your immune system well and for you actually to slim down. If you're looking at losing some or reaching your ideal weight, you definitely want to take care of the gut. And so good fermented foods would be sauerkraut or kimchi, even some properly made yogurt, or even coconut kefir for those that are dairy intolerant, but just a little bit every day will really help that gut. Okay, so now I'm going to move to the fourth way for you to get healthier and happier this year. So the fourth way is make sure you've got a good sleep. So we need to sleep well to have energy for the day. And if you sleep well, then you're not going to be craving all the foods or the treats that are trying to lift your energy up because you didn't have the good sleep. So to have a good sleep, you actually start a good sleep in the morning. Because did you know that we know melatonin is our sleep hormone, but it takes 12 hours for your body to make melatonin. And so my suggestion is to be asleep by 10, which means you need to make melatonin by 10 a.m. because it's 12 hours before it's released at night. So the way to do that is simply to get outside in the morning and allow yourself the morning sunlight to enter your skin on your face or wherever that's exposed. It'll start the production of melatonin. But you've got to make melatonin to release it. So if you get outside before 10 a.m., and the golden rule is for 20 minutes or more, then you're actually going to set yourself up for a good sleep. The other tip I'm going to give you about sleep, though, is an hour before bed, make sure everything's dark so that you don't kill the melatonin that you've just made. Because anytime you put the light on, the blue light, that destroys melatonin. So all that work you did destroys it. So make sure that you go to an hour before bed, that it's dark and you're not flipping all the lights on. So now we're going to get into the next way that you are going to help your health and your happiness for this coming year. And so this would mean proper digestion. You've got to be able to break down your foods, use it as energy, and remove what your body doesn't need. And so for that, I recommend digestive, so sitting down and being calm when you eat. So many of my clients, they're just running around and they're not really chewing their food, and they're wondering why they have gas and bloating and it's not really digesting well. It's because you're too rushed when you're eating. And I always say the stomach doesn't have teeth. So make sure you're chewing like 20 times before you swallow. That's one thing. And if you're really busy throughout the day, then think about liquid nutrition, which is like a smoothie or a soup because it's already pre-digested. And you can sip that or drink it. It doesn't require much digestion, and it's not going to sit and give you that gas and bloating and that kind of energy draining feeling. Now, the last way that I'm going to suggest that we get healthier and happier this year is to make sure that we exercise. Yeah, my favorite. I love to exercise. But really we have to be smart because we're doing all these other things. We need to balance our self-care with taking care of others, because that's a healthy life. But really we do need to take care of ourselves too. So a quick and easy way to get your exercise in when you don't have a lot of time is, what I suggest is, well, the first way is to walk outside. So before 10 a.m., if you can get that walk in the morning, you are really good to go. That's the number one. But the number two is you've got to do some resistance training. Here's the other mistake I see people do, is they're doing way too much cardio and they're stressing their bodies out. Because what happens is, if we do way too much cardio, the body says, oh, I better hang on to my body fat because I need to hang on to it in case I need to go on that long run again. And so it'll actually hold on to your fat. But when you start to do some strength training or resistance training properly with proper form, then you're sending a signal to the body to say, wait a minute, I need to get stronger. So to do that, it actually requires more calories because it's got to rebuild what you've kind of broken down. And to do that, your muscle it's like your metabolic engine. It requires more calories. So the calories get shuttled into the muscle and they don't get shuttled into the fat. So that is such a key to improving your health and getting happy. Why? Because you're going to build such a beautiful shape. So I hope that this has really helped. And I really wanted to help you spearhead your next 30 days to get healthier and happier. And if you're looking for an easy to follow plan, I actually created one. It's called the 7-Day Simple Health Reset. And what I did was I pulled all this together in a really easy plan it's for people that keep going on their plan and going off, or the ones that are confused about all the diets out there, or the ones that actually they're so overwhelmed and so tired they don't even know where to start. Well, I've created this just for you. So I've got the link in the show notes. Please check it out, and I know it's really going to help you. Thanks for tuning in.